Okay, well, good evening. Welcome to our regularly scheduled meeting of the Zoning Advisory Commission. It is September the 4th. Let's verify that. September the 4th. I call this meeting to order. Jason, would you take roll?
Christ is excused. Lorman is excused. Mulligan.
Here.
Norton.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
Zaccaro.
All right. Can you confirm we are in compliance with the Iowa Open Meetings Law?
Yes, we are.
Very good. Commissioners, in front of you are our minutes from August the 7th. I know you had a chance to read through them. I'll entertain any modifications or a motion for approval as submitted.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from August 7th, 2024.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Jason?
Norton.
Aye.
Russell.
Aye.
Zaccaro. Mulligan.
Aye. Okay, those minutes are approved as submitted. So this evening, we've got on our agenda, we have a site plan review action item and then 3 public hearings. And before I dive into that, our
City Council date is September 16th.
September 16th. Okay. Very good. Okay, so our first item this evening is a site plan review of 2533 Northwest Arterial, and our applicant is here via Zoom. Justin, is that correct? Oh,
Justin with break.
oh, very good. Okay, my apologies. Well, maybe start from the top then. Yes, state your name, your address, and we'll let you dive in, what it is that you're after from the commission.
Andy Lobbins, like I said, Olson. I'm out of Lincoln, Nebraska, 601 P Street. So what we are looking at accomplishing is to be within, we're not asking for any zoning change at all or anything like that, but to put a Oil Express building along the private drive at along west of Northwest Arterial and Ashbury Road in that complex there, just north of I believe there's a Starbucks. We don't plan on changing too much as far as what the natural grade does today. We were advised to use the drainage way south on the south portion of our lot between us and Starbucks. There are a couple inlets within that drainage way there on the south. And that will just be our southern portion of the parking lot area. The other portion of the drainage on the north side, we will direct towards a bioretention, as you see on the west side of the site. So we don't anticipate much drainage change from what it is today. Besides that, if there are any questions, I can certainly answer them.
Maybe one question, Andy, for you. I think on that Starbucks, wasn't there an access, like doesn't the sidewalk kind of hammerhead right into that adjacent site?
Are you talking on that southwest or southeast portion?
Yeah,
Yep, we plan to remove that and close that off.
gotcha. Okay, very good. Any additional questions for our applicant, Andy, tonight? Nope. Okay, Andy, thanks. Hang tight for a second, and we'll do our staff report from Travis.
Yeah, Assistant Planner
Thanks.
Travis Shrubelgen. So as the applicant stated, the Asbury Plaza PUD Plan District requires that all site plans go through not only the normal DRT and staff review, but also get review from the commission. It'd be an approval with the commission, and it doesn't go on to city council. The request, as you see it before you, meets all the Unified Development Code district standards. The use is permitted use within the Asbury PUD. As proposed, it does meet pretty much everything that we've seen. It's been through DRT a couple times. This is the second submittal. And it's just in that process, and at the very end of that process. So that's all I have, unless you have questions.
How many, how many trips per day would you guess the Brakes Plus would generate?
That is a good question for our traffic engineer, and maybe Andy knows offhand, the applicant. I don't know that number off the top of my head or anything.
I don't know the number either. Justin would be the person, the applicant, Justin Duck would be the person that would be able to answer that. But I do not know off the top of my head.
Just to add to that, the DRT, our traffic engineer has looked at it and it's been approved as far as routing, parking, and access. And that is a shared access with Starbucks right there too.
Right, that was the reason I asked. I was wondering about if there would be any conflict where they at the shared access in terms of traffic with Starbucks.
All of that is shared. So that was the plan with Starbucks going in and with Brakes Plus. So that's been reviewed as part of the development review team.
All right, thank you.
Traffic analysis, yep.
Thanks.
Right, that is a shared access, isn't it? Okay, cool. All right, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion of Andy's submission.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan, I guess it is, for 2533 Northwest Arterial.
Very good.
Second?
We have a motion and we have a second. Jason?
Russell,
Aye.
Zakaro,
Aye.
Norton, Mulligan.
Aye. All right, Andy, that motion passes. Appreciate you bringing it to the Zoning Advisory Commission. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we are going to move on to our public hearings. Our first one is 27 Locust Street, applicant being Josh Jansen. Or no? Is our applicant here? That's you right there. Come on up. Look at everybody out there. Hi, Josh.
How you doing? Josh Jansen. I live at 11368 Rock Grove Court, Dubuque, Iowa. So zoning request to change those to C4. You guys would have seen this come through on those other parcels maybe 4 months ago. So this is just an expansion of that. So long time development, first time zoning request for these parcels. Really exciting. This project continues to move forward. Those acquisitions have been incorporated into the new schematic design. The project is becoming a little bit more robust, a little bit more cost effective as a result, and it's going to really aid to the population density. That's a goal for the area. So
Yeah.
I did share some of the development drawings where they're at today, and what this shows is the designated parking at the Zero Bluff lot location, and then also the parking within the structure. And we have also completed kind of a rendering of what the facade's going to look like on that north, south, and east side. And looking to make it a timber frame multi-use building, first floor commercial with that parking garage, and then 4 floors of residential, and exploring a rooftop amenity lease space as well. So the reason for the zoning request is for the setbacks. So it's right now it's showing 15-foot setbacks off of the north and south, and then on the east and west, the frontages, it's got a 5-foot and like a 1-foot. So the C4 would allow for that. This has gone before the DRT, but that wasn't this exact revision. This one will go before the DRT again to keep that moving forward. And then the architects and engineers will be coming on board this winter and kind of taking this over from that point forward. So
I'm sorry. Did you have anything else? I didn't mean to
No, that's
stop
good.
you there. Do you have that ground under control then at this point? Or have you, is that ground under control already, or have you bought it
Yeah.
already?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's already been acquired. So,
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we came before you last time before we proceeded with the purchase of the Bridge Restaurant.
Yeah.
And then we got this to kind of fall into place as well. So
Cool.
this is aiding the development really.
Great.
And we've also been reaching out to K&L Leasing that owns the Psychic building, but I'm sure they saw that coming. So.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Any questions for Josh? No? Okay.
Good.
Take a seat. Thanks. All right, so this is a public hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and open the floor. So if there's any comments from anybody regarding this particular one, seeing none, I'll close that public hearing. All right, so we'll move over to Sheena for our staff report.
Correct. Yeah,
Thank you.
Sheena Moon, Associate Planner. Thank you, Chair Mulligan. So as the applicant mentioned, they're seeking to rezone this property. It's technically consistent of these two parcels here. So they're seeking to rezone that from C3 to C4, as he mentioned, as an expansion of this C4 district, on which they're hoping to construct a multi-story mixed-use project. So let's see here, sorry. So as the applicant mentioned, this project has gone to the DRT previously, prior to the last rezoning request for those parcels to the north. That was just as a conceptual review. Any development or redevelopment of the subject properties that are being rezoned and/or the adjacent lots would require a review by the city's development review team. And with that, we would take a look at things such as stormwater management, traffic, if there's any need for any traffic assessment. I do know that in the conceptual plan, it does show some potential reconfiguration of Locust Street. That is something that they have kind of contemplated in their design that would obviously still require a review by the city and numerous departments as well as city council for any reconfiguration of that. So just to note that this is a conceptual plan at this point in time. Rezoning to this use would allow the applicant, as they mentioned, more flexibility with respect to their setbacks, would also allow for a little bit more flexibility around any parking requirements. But as the applicant articulated, they do intend to provide a number of parking spaces on the adjacent property, which would be to the south west of the project site, just across Bissell Lane there, as well as on the lower level of the proposed structure. So in the photos here, we can see, so what the properties consist of this property consists of right now is the left half or the red half of this duplex building, as well as the surface parking lot. That would be the area that would be rezoned with this request. The property to the left here is currently under separate ownership with is K&L Leasing. And so I will note that staff did receive a letter which was included in the packet for the commission's consideration from that property owner at 19 Locust Street, which again is this property here on the left in the image. Mr. Lin is the neighbor, as a property owner there. He did express concerns specifically with traffic and noise, parking, concerns with property value, impacts and potential environmental concerns, and also safety and security. Mr. Lin did call today. He's unable to attend this meeting this evening, but did just want me to reiterate what he told me, which was that, again, he's concerned primarily about the traffic, especially as it relates in the conceptual plan to the area of the lot, the enter and exit area for that parking structure, which would be just behind his property. And so he requested that I provide that verbally to the commission this evening. I will say that the C3 zoning district and the C4 zoning districts are generally similar overall. The C3 zoning district does allow for 53 permitted uses and or 58 rather, and the C4 zoning district would allow for 56 permitted uses. As you can see in the chart here, those that have been highlighted are the ones that have crossover and or are allowed in both. For example, like mini warehousing would not be something that would be allowed in the C4, and it is allowed currently in the C3 zoning district, again, which these properties are currently zoned. So technically this would be considered, just from a use standpoint, a down zoning as we're reducing those number of uses. Again, they're not 100% apples to apples, but very similar overall. Let's see here. So again, I just want to touch on if there's any type of traffic impact that would be reviewed during our development review team meeting. Let's see here, just making sure I haven't missed anything. I believe that is all that I have this evening. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheena. Any questions for Sheena? Well, I think this is pretty darn cool. Is that building really gray? Is it really a red brick and a gray brick?
Yeah, it's painted. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. There you go. Very striking.
Cool. Okay. Well, I like what you've drawn a lot more. Well, I think it's great. I think it's our welcome into Dubuque right there, that spot. I'll say, looking at Mr. Lynn's email, I mean, I could see some increased traffic. It is probably the busiest intersection in town, so it's not going to change much. I think from a property value impact, it's clearly beneficial to all properties around it. I think from an environmental concern, Josh is going to have his own deals to worry about in cleaning up that site. And so I think it's a great addition to town. So I fully support this. So I'll entertain a motion from our commission.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to rezone the property at 27 Locust Street from C3 General Commercial to C4 Downtown Commercial.
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Jason?
Zakhara,
Aye.
Norton,
Aye.
Russell,
Aye.
Mulligan.
Aye. All right, that passes, and we'll go before City Council on September 16th. Josh, thanks. Thanks a lot. Have a good night, guys. All right, our next one is the, rezoning of 1090 Radford Road. Is our applicant here this evening? Luke?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'm going to have to recuse myself from this discussion.
Sounds great. Thank you. All right, Luke, if you'd state your name, address, and what it is you're after from the commission?
Sure. Luke Hoffman, 991 June Drive, Dubuque, Iowa. So we're looking for 1070, it's 1090 and 1070. There's two different addresses there, but the subject property, we're essentially looking to zone from commercial back to R3, and it'd be more residential. It's currently R3. We're just adding a piece of the land to it. So currently we own, where their mouse is there, we own the whole bottom area, which is about 15 acres, give or take, that's commercial. And then we have the residential lot right next to it. It used to have one house, I believe. Currently it's all vacant land on the residential. And so what we're looking to do is basically take the best part of the land out of the commercial and tie it into the existing residential lot so we can build a personal home. We've already split on the, be the southwest, right? That part of the L shape, we've split that parcel off, so it's technically two parcels currently. And we're just trying to add a little piece of the land on the east side. So really we're just taking commercial land from our own property and converting it to residential on an existing residential zone site.
So as I was reading this, I saw the bold non-buildable. So I'm sorry, are you building a house there, or are you just tacking that on to the residential piece you've got now?
And staff can get into this in a little bit. It's
I'll
part of
leave
the planning process.
Never mind, Luke.
Yep,
You're
you're good. Yeah, basically we want to enlarge it primarily for location on the land to achieve the best views. It overlooks the whole valley. And then also the placement of the house with setbacks. We'd basically be in the woods for half the house. So if we can shift it a little bit this way with setbacks, we can get it in a better position on our own land.
Gotcha. All right. Any additional questions for Luke? Nope. All right. Can I have a seat?
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. All right, so this is a public hearing, so I'll go ahead and open the floor for any comments, and I'll close the floor. All right. Travis, is that you tonight?
Yes, thanks. Assistant Planner Travis Schrobelgen. So as the applicant indicated, they're looking to parcel off this, what is currently highlighted in red and says non-buildable. They're going to parcel that and then consolidate it with the front lot that's going along Radford Road there to the west. and thereby would not need a zoning advisory commission review and approval. It's just a in-house staff review. That's what we call a Texas two-step. So that's the one step of this. The other step is to rezone it. Currently, it's CS, which is what everything to the north, Lot 2, is zoned as. It is Lot 1, what's left there, what's highlighted is somewhat physically separate from the remainder of the property. It's up above and behind a wooded hillside. And then most of that bottom area on the north side of the creek especially is actually in the floodway, which is one of the most highly regulated sections of floodplain. So development up there is not likely. As far as the subject property, the applicant would just have to go through building permits. It looks like they'll probably exceed, I haven't seen the placement of the house, but they'll probably exceed 50 foot from the front property line, so it'll have to go to the zoning board of adjustment, and the neighbors would be notified of that in that instance. It is kind of a unique area. As you can see, there's a lot of C3 in the area to the south, and a majority of those, or half of them I'd say at least, are still residential structures. So there's illegal nonconformities in that area. There is a house on the corner at 4955. And then we did receive 2 letters of opposition, one of which was at 4905 Old Highway Road, and the other was that corner property, I believe. Sorry. Let me verify that before I say that. And in both cases, one of those is in your packet. The other one was received just today, I believe. So I don't know if we want to go through them real quick. So Kobush at 4655 Old Highway Road noted that they do not think they'll be able to make the meeting. The property is owned by Luke Hoffman. They're thinking that the proposal would be from 0 to 13 units. They do not feel that's appropriate. I would clarify that the property is being rezoned to R3, so 6 units maximum would be permitted there. And if it were a multifamily project, it would go through the development review team. And then the rear yards of those properties to the south, they're approximately 200 feet long. So the impact to the neighborhoods, even in the event of a multi-unit development, would not be super impactful in staff's opinion. But generally speaking, they're just in opposition, and both of those state essentially the same thing. One is concerned that you're moving a residential property into a business area, and again, it's kind of an area in flux. So take that as you will, and that is all I have, unless you have questions.
Travis, as I was reading one of the letters, it says, this zoning would eventually allow up to 208 residential properties.
Yeah, so I think there's some confusion from the agenda itself. It just lists 1090 Radford Road as a subject property. So I think they're taking the entire lot area. But again, most of that is in a floodway, so could not be developed. But additionally, the rezoning is only applying to that, what was shown before, that lot, I think, lot 1, that's currently non-buildable. So they'll have to finish the platting process and go through any building permits or development review.
I just wanted to say it, to state we read it, and it's not 208 units.
Absolutely not.
Okay, sounds good. Any other questions from the commission? We'll entertain a motion then.
I move we recommend rezoning the property at 1090 Radford Road from C2 to R2.
C3 to R.
CS to R3.
CS.
Oh, I looked at the wrong guy.
CS to R3, correct.
Right, CS to R3. It'd be a perfect motion for the next item on the agenda.
Second.
Russell,
Aye.
Zaccaro,
Aye.
Mulligan.
Aye. All right, Luke, that motion passes. It'll go to City Council on September 16th. Thank you. Okay, next up is a rezoning of 1142 University Avenue, rezoned from C2 to R2, as you so eloquently put it a minute ago. Is our
Hi there.
applicant here?
I'm here for my son, Craig Nestaby, that owns it. So he wants to, he has apartment up top, so he wants to put the bottom back into an apartment instead of commercial.
Very good.
State your
Sorry,
name.
ma'am, could you state your name and address, please?
Oh, my name is Janice Nestaby. I'm at 721 Hill Street, Dubuque. My son resides on 595 Angela, and he owns plenty of properties.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. She didn't say her name. Thank you. Okay, well, I got the gist of what you're after. Any questions for our applicant tonight? Okay, very good. You can take a seat.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, this is a public hearing. I'll open it up for any comments, and I will close it. Jason? All right, you're up.
Assistant Planner Jason Duba. The applicant proposes to rezone the subject property from C2 Neighborhood Shopping Center to R2 Two-Family Residential Zoning District. The property is improved with a structure that was constructed in 1880, which has had several additions. The property was originally developed as a residence, but was historically zoned as commercial. The current owner converted the first floor of the single-family residence to commercial while maintaining the second floor as residential. The property owner now wishes to convert the first floor to a residential unit, thereby creating a duplex on the property. The subject property is a 0.15 acre flag lot with frontage on University Avenue and Forest Lane to the rear. It's improved with a 1,900 square foot structure that has been both a residence and a commercial property. There's a paved area, a garage, and a shed in the rear. The surrounding neighborhood has a mix of residential uses, including single-family and multifamily, commercial uses, including restaurants and retail, and institutional uses, including Lincoln Elementary School. The Iowa DOT categorizes University Avenue as a minor arterial. The latest traffic count at this location from 2013 showed a daily average of 7,000 vehicles. The proposed rezoning in general is not anticipated to increase traffic to the subject site as the property is developed, and only the use would change from commercial and residential to strictly residential with 2 units. Typically, residential uses generate less traffic than commercial. The applicant's requesting the rezoning to allow a return to residential use on the first floor of the property, which is how the property has been used for most of its existence, though in a legal non-conforming state due to the commercial zoning. The owner converted it to a commercial property, so it cannot return to a residential use without being rezoned. It will go from being a mixed-use property to a residential duplex. Subject property is adequately served by utilities and services. Any redevelopment of the property will be subject to review by city staff. The proposed rezoning is not anticipated to have any adverse impacts on the environment. The C2 zoning district allows for 25 principal permitted uses, and the proposed R2 zoning district allows for 11 principal permitted uses. So this would be considered a down zoning. Approval of the proposed rezoning is not anticipated to substantially alter the fabric or character of the area, as it is an expansion of the existing R2 district to the southwest and northwest. The R2 district has fewer and less intense uses than the C2 district. The proposal is considered, the comprehensive plan encourages vibrant mixed-use development that allows a mix of commercial and residential uses and a variety of housing types affordable for all segments of Dubuque's population. The city's future land use map identifies the subject property as single-family residential. Thank you.
Sounds good. I like how the golf course always comes up as an R2. It'd be a great spot. Putt-putt or something.
For half a hole.
Half a hole, that's right. Well, seems straightforward. Seems like I kind of like this use better than commercial anyways, so.
Along those lines, I do have a question about the stuff stored behind the property. Would that have to be removed then? It looks like it's sort of commercial in nature.
I don't know.
So whoever resides at a property, those are the people who can use a property. So even if the owner, if they kept it and we're renting it out, the accessory structures, the use of the property is accessory to the residential use. So only the residents could be there. So I don't know who's going to live there, but likely that would have to be removed. It cannot be used as a contractor shop or anything along those lines.
Yep, okay, thanks.
Very good. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of 1142 University Avenue from C2 Neighborhood Shopping Center to R2 Two-Family Residential Zoning District.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Jason?
Norton?
Aye.
Russell?
Aye.
Zucchero?
Aye.
Mulligan?
Aye. Very good. That motion passes. We'll go before City Council on September 16th. Thank you. All right. Let's see, we'll move on. Any items from the public? Great, seeing none. Any items from commission? Good to see you all. From staff? Good to see you as well.
Yep. I guess I will just, actually, I do have a reminder. You've probably received an email from Renee and also from the city clerk's office with respect to a picnic occurring next week.
Yeah.
Well, it's Tuesday next week, so is that right? Tuesday, yes. So if you're able to attend, please do. We'll be there. At least most of us will be there, so we'd love to see you there. But just a reminder, if you're able to. So, yes, we appreciate the work you do, so it's important to celebrate that. So hopefully you can join us.
How many are we short right now on this?
We're short one person.
We're short one.
Two, obviously, at the meeting this evening, but as far as a commission of 7, we're short one person currently.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah, so, yes, that's what I'll say.
All right. Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So
All in
moved.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.